Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'm joined by Fantasy Football Scout Deputy Editor Tom Freeman, who will be revealing his Game Week 5 team. It was a better week in Game Week 4 than the previous week, but injury problems are mounting up. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks, Joe. Yeah, like you said there, a better game week. I didn't wildcard in the end. I gave it quite a lot of consideration, but opted to keep the faith and yeah, got 66 points. But I've got a few issues, potential issues now to sort because I've had a few more flags appear on my team.
Indeed. So before we get on, I just a reminder: do press that like button, does help us out, and do remember to subscribe, keep updated with our latest videos and podcasts. Also, do check out latest membership offers at fantasyfootballscout.co.uk, especially all the access to the latest tools and gadgets to help you climb up your mini leagues. Okay, let's have a look and see how you got on in game week 4. 66 points. Green arrow, not a huge green arrow, but a green arrow. Well, actually, all the ranks we're at the moment, any movement is quite large. But yeah, do you want to take us through your team, who your heroes and villains were? And villain is a
Yeah,
choice word there.
yeah, absolutely. So I had Sanchez in goal. Just got the 2 points, obviously conceded twice at Brentford. But the defence was the highlight. I got Anderson, got 10 points. He got Defcon and bonus. Porro and then Konza both got 6 points apiece. Salah with that very, very late penalty at Burnley got me 16 points as my captain. Semenyo as well did really well with 13, and then it was 3-1 pointers across the board with Alanga, Tillemans, and Rutter. Gyökeres scored up front; he got 6, and then Watkins with the blank with 2.
Yeah. Just those eagle-eyed viewers, Murillo. Is it Murillo that you got 3 points for on your bench? Yeah,
Yes,
because
yeah.
he's been called Porro.
Oh, I've just spotted that.
So
Yeah,
he hasn't got two
okay.
Porros. He's got an injured Murillo on the
I
bench
mean, I
there.
would prefer 2 Poros,
Yeah.
but then again, I think Ange came up after full time and said that it was just a knock. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that because I'd quite like to play him this week, but we'll
Yeah.
see what develops.
You also had Hartman on your bench, 4 points. Not bad. So these cheap defenders, they're ticking along quite nicely. Dubravka as well, and also Strand Larsen, who didn't play. It was a better week, a standardly good week, I think, above average.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
the transfer paid off. I took out Cunha
yeah,
for Semenyo. Didn't think he was going to step up to take that penalty. I thought it'd be Evan Nelson, but he did, and he scored. But yeah, I suppose when we talk about my team a minute, we've got a few issues building. We've got 3 flagged players now, including Murillo, who we just discussed.
yeah.
No.
Okay, yeah, and Semenyo, and yeah, I got him in as well, so I was very pleased with that.
Who did you take out?
For Palmer, who did
Oh,
score,
you
but
had to take out a Chelsea player,
I
didn't
had to
you?
take out Chelsea
Yeah.
player, and
Okay.
I just went for the most expensive one. It was a doubt
Yeah.
start, which indeed he
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
I think he will be for a little while fixture
Yeah.
congestion is there. But
Yeah, I
nevertheless,
think you're right.
he can do damage. Let's have a look at your team going into game week 5. Murillo's name is back there, but will he be back in the squad? Do you want to just take us through this team and some of the issues here? You've got a number of flags
Yeah.
and players that perhaps you might not want.
Yeah. No, exactly. So I'm going in with Dubravka in goal at home to Forest. Think there is a decision to be made there with Sanchez, but I slightly prefer the home goalkeeper at the moment. I've got 3 defenders. I've got Anderson at home to Brentford, Murillo away at Burnley, and Konza away at Sunderland. Now, if Murillo doesn't play, you can see I've got Porro as my first defensive sub there at Brighton, which I'm fine with. I think that's okay. Um, I've got 4 in midfield. I've got Salah as my captain again in the Merseyside derby. I've got Tillemans away at Sunderland. Doesn't look like he's going to play though. I've got Semenyo at home against Newcastle, and I've got Rutter at home against Tottenham.
Yeah.
And then 3 strikers: Strand Larsen at home against Leeds. Desperately need an update on him. Sounds like it might be close, but gonna need to see him in training this week. Gyökeres at home to Man City. and then Watkins away at Sunderland, and
Okay.
then mentioned a few of the subs then, but I've got Sanchez, Alanga, Porro, and Hartman on the bench.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, Alanga, you know,
Hmm.
I don't know what is going on with not with
No.
Newcastle in terms of the team sheets there, because he should be
Hmm.
nailed on to start. That's just one of those things. He could start and do really well. He might not start.
Yeah,
But
it is tricky, Joe, because I bought him in having played 90 minutes Liverpool. He's been benched 2 weeks in a row now.
yeah,
The only thing which might help me this week is they play Barcelona on Thursday.
yeah,
So if Elanga is on the bench for that again and plays 10 minutes at the end, I think I'd feel a little bit more confident of a
yeah.
start, and I might keep him if that's the case.
If he starts though,
Yeah,
which he very well could do, because since he was benched at the weekend,
yeah,
then yeah, he's got to be benched really.
he has. Yeah,
Porro, I'm playing Porro.
yeah.
I don't think I'll get a clean sheet there, but you never know. And there's always the possibility, although it's reducing with assist potential. And I think Hartman's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got Dubravka there, so Hartman's pretty good option there. I think I'm well, we'll talk about it in a sec, what your plans are. My plans are quite similar as well. But I'm quite happy to hold this week, and I'm willing to play, like, for example, my cheap Leeds defender and
Yeah.
some Porro, and just hope for the best, really.
I think in an ideal world for me, Maria will be fit, and then Porro could come in for either Tillemans or Strand Larsen.
Yeah.
And I won't have to make a transfer, but I will need some injury updates before I decide on that. I think it would be great to save a transfer because I think we're both eyeing at moves in game week 6 involving
Yeah.
a certain Man City striker who isn't in our team.
Okay, well, we're going to have a look at that because, so, I mean, there's a potential moves here, but as you said, game week 6, really, we've got a few players we might want to get rid of. My team's very similar to this. Well, not exactly the same, but
But better.
my team's like this, but better. No, but I say better, marginally lot less good.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
You've had a better start.
but anyway, the what we're looking to do is some moves in game week 6. So game week 5, well, for me, is going to be quite boring. For you, it could be just a case of like replacing an injured player or two.
Yeah.
So, but what I did want to ask you about is Villa, because you're a Villa fan, and I've got some stats I'll put up on Villa.
God, you
Because
have to.
we spoke after game week 1, and you know we thought you thought, and I did as well, that they would turn a corner there.
Yeah.
That game week 1 side was, it was just one of those things against I think it was Newcastle they played, but
Of course, yeah.
it's the same every week, and
Yeah.
it's not changing, and the new players aren't starting
Yeah.
or didn't start. And these stats to tell the story. I mean, the most glaring one, which I can scarcely believe, is that Villa have not scored,
Yes.
which is
yeah.
insane. They're on to their worst start for 28 years, which I didn't see coming. I don't think anyone did. Watkins is top for minutes per expected goal involvement non-penalty every 275 minutes, which is like a good defender. He's created 4 chances. He's had 8 shots. The column at the end says total. That's the total number of shots. He's had 8 shots, but just 2 on target. And that tells the story there. Tielemans is not. It says 4 chances created, but he's not creating enough. Minutes per expected goal involvement every 630 minutes. That's terrible. And he's just had 1 shot on target out of his 5 shots. Matty Cash as well. Czech created 4 chances, not a lot. I mean, we've had 4 games. It's a chance a game.
Yeah.
McGinn created 5 chances, but it's just 1 shot on target. Rodgers, this is horrible. Minutes per expected goal involvement non-penalty every 782 minutes. I mean, this is absolutely woeful. This is what's a goal involvement every 8 games, and
Yeah.
7 or 8 games. He's created 2 chances, had 2 shots on target. Mings, this is how bad. When I get into Mings level, he's created a chance. And Konsa, this minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty every 4,900 minutes. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't think we can rely on him for attacking returns.
No, but so you're not going to get anything there. And is DEFCON, none of them are getting anything near the DEFCONs that's needed. So then none of them are ticking along nicely. So, you can get Manchester United fans might be looking at that thinking, our team's doing badly at the moment. But at least Bruno Fernandes can score. At least he can get defensive returns. At least Brian and Bomo scored. There's just nothing here. So this is, I mean, I've got Watkins and Rodgers, so hence the emotion. You've got Watkins, Tielemans, and Konza. Many people watching will have one or two, maybe even three Villa assets. I've seen enough, but they are playing Sunderland next. But I'm looking in game week 6 to get rid of Watkins. And just start the Exodus.
I think after the Newcastle game, you spoke about it, Joe. We went down to 10 men, and you're kind of thinking, well, let's give them a chance. You give them a chance against Brentford, and then Palace, and then Everton. We've kept 2 clean sheets in 4, but the balance is off because out of possession, I thought we looked okay against Everton, but there's just no offensive threat at all. We're lacking a bit, like any kind of composure in the final third. And we've got problems in central midfield because Kamara and Onana were out. Tielemans now looks like he's out. We think Harvey Elliott will come in and help, but Buendia was preferred to him at the weekend, which I was really surprised by. We've never looked to Buendia in the past, so quite why it was then. Maybe Elliott just hadn't had enough kind of training sessions with the team, but confidence is just really, really low, and it's odd because you see Morgan Rogers going away for England and playing really, really well, and then comes back into this Villa team, and there's just absolutely nothing. We are playing Brentford tonight in the EFL Cup. It'll be really interesting to see what Emery does. My kind of thought is play the first team again and just try and get some confidence into that team. It's still early in the season. They shouldn't be fatigued. But there's bound to be a little bit of rotation. I can't really say to people keep Villa assets because we've been terrible. I am going to because we've got 3 good fixtures to come. And maybe it will just take a goal to get that, if you're looking over the past 2-3 seasons, we've been a very good attack. We've been one of the best attacks in the division. And maybe it just takes a goal to kickstart it, but it's been really frustrating. I mean, against Everton, there was just such a lack of attacking threat in that game. It was pretty painful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the ultimate sort of form v fixtures debate with Villa. And you mentioned about the 3 fixtures there, and I'm looking at them now and thinking, is Fulham at home a good fixture? I'm not sure it is now. Is Burnley at home? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the newly promoted teams, they're not what they were so far. They're not what they were last year, are they? So we've got to change our way of thinking of that a little bit. I mean, Sunderland, they've just gone to Palace and kept a clean sheet at the weekend, haven't they? But, I'm going to give Watkins. If I was building a new team now and wildcarding, they wouldn't be there. But for my team, the fact it's going to take hits probably to get them out, bar Tielemans, who may be moved on for free, it's not worth it. No. But it's been, that's kind of contributed to my poor start to the season, and maybe some other people have struggled with it too. They've gone in, you're doing okay, Joe. I think you're 40 points ahead of me, but you've done that with Rodgers and Watkins. So, but you're kind of looking at it thinking, well, that's been a key reason why a lot of teams have stalled at the beginning. No.
Yeah, it's in spite of, really. I mean, I'm keeping in game week 5 personally because I want to make a move. We'll talk about that in a sec. To Haaland. I want Salah out for that because I don't think he's sustainable. He's not going to get 38, 95-minute penalties this season. I'd love it if he did. I would keep him if someone said that was going to happen, but that's not. So it's not sustainable. He's got an expected goal involvement of 0.04 or something. But,
I mean, apart from the penalty, he didn't take a shot at Burnley.
So he's taking up a lot of budget. Watkins is taking a lot of budget. I want to move both of them, be left with some money, and I might even wildcard in 7 after that anyway. But Watkins at home to Fulham. I've seen enough. I mean, after 2 fixtures, okay, but 4 fixtures, and it doesn't matter the opposition when you get 4 fixtures because they've been a range of teams now. It's not all been tough. And,
no, certainly not.
And I've seen enough.
I kind of get that, and you're obviously looking at attacker to facilitate the Haaland move, aren't you?
But it's not for this week. They get one final go, so I hope I'm wrong. I hope they turn it around.
Yeah, and I think that will dictate my move in six. If Watkins has a really good game and he scores and gets a bit of
Yeah,
bonus,
yeah,
I could take out Strand Larsen instead and do probably what you're thinking, Joe, where you take out Salah,
yeah,
downgrade him to, for me, it might be Reinders or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that, and then upgrade one of those attackers.
yeah.
I'm still a bit sure. You mentioned wildcarding in game week 7 there,
Mm,
Joe, and that's something I've thought about. I haven't really
mm,
committed to a strategy yet, but certainly because Arsenal's fixtures swing, don't they? Then
yeah.
I've got Gyökeres, but if I want to get a Raya and a Gabriel in, and I might consider that
I
too.
think a game week 7 looks good. Well. Let's just have a look at I'll put the fixtures up now because we're talking about this now. So one of the reasons I'm personally looking at game week 7 is a fixtures play. So I don't need to worry about Villa at home to Burnley. I've washed my hands of them now. So
Yeah,
I want to get Arsenal. I've got no Arsenal. Arsenal, we can see here, they've suddenly got, off the back of Man City, Newcastle, game weeks 5 and 6, suddenly they got West Ham at home, Fulham, and then Crystal Palace. So it's a great run of fixtures. Man City, well, I would probably have invested in them a bit in game week 6, but their good run continues.
yeah,
Liverpool, meanwhile, after Crystal Palace away, which I think is a tough fixture for Liverpool, they
yeah.
then got Chelsea, Manchester United, and Brentford. Out of all of that, Manchester United's probably the best fixture, but 1 out of 4, I probably wouldn't captain him then. In fact, I'd probably more like to captain Bruno Fernandes game week 8 if he still survives in my wild card team, or
Yeah.
perhaps Brian and Bomo at home to Wolves. Meanwhile, game week 8 looks good for a bench boost because Sunderland against Wolves. Sunderland got lots of nice cheap players. You get a cheap midfielder, cheap defenders maybe. Leeds against Burnley. Well, you can play either or of them. Just hope one of them. Or if it's 0-0, that would be really good. And then you've got like Jaden Anthony as well. Could be quite an option there in game week 8 for Burnley. And you've got a lot of those sort of cheap players, so you can fill your cheap players. It's the best week, I think, for cheap players, and it gets the bench boost that way. Don't have to worry about it then. But anyway, that's my thoughts. What about
Yeah.
what about you, sort of going forward, chips wise or future transfers, looking at sort of game week 6 onwards?
Yeah, so I can bring in Haaland probably for free next week if the team looks okay this week. I can roll a
Yeah,
transfer. That then opens up the possibility of a triple captain on
yeah,
Haaland
yeah,
in
yeah.
game week 6, which I think, given the form Haaland's in at the moment, the Champions League's only just starting as well, so it's not the schedule isn't quite so intense as what it'll be. I think that is really appealing. I did consider a free hit in game week 6, but I think the problem is after that is that you're going to want Haaland in anyway.
Yeah.
So okay, a free hit's going to help you, but then if you've then got to start moving for the players that were on your free hit, I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe it's better to just get them in anyway.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about bench boost in game week 8, but if you're wildcarded in game week 7, that obviously makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I had originally, I mean, ideally, I'd bench boost and then wildcard after that, because then
Oh,
you can
okay.
strip that money off your bench. But
Yeah.
that might not be possible this year. We've still got these AFCON transfers as well. These 5 free transfers. So I'm not that concerned if a bench boost
No.
doesn't happen immediately, because
That's
I might be able to do some moves around then.
that's why a lot of people are looking at game week 13 to wildcard, but if you get 5 free transfers from game week 16, I think
Yeah.
stuff that. I'm gonna wildcard as soon as I can because I'm like in the millions in the rankings. But yeah. So I'm
Yes.
looking at I posted something up actually on social media. I'll try and get it up now. It was about chip use, and I think this is quite interesting because there's quite a number of chips that have been played already this
Oh,
season.
of course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
1 in 5 teams have wildcarded already.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean,
What?
sorry, Joe, you go
Yeah.
back to it, but
I was,
if I look at all of the top of my mini leagues, people have probably played at least 2
Yeah,
chips
yeah,
in them.
exactly. So you and me, we got rankings in the millions, but we're up against we're up.
Don't tie yourself in with me, Joe. You're doing
I'm going
all
to do
right.
it. I'm going to do it. I'm tying myself in. I'm tethered to you. A fifth have done the free hit already. Might have done
Yeah,
it
yeah,
last week. No, in fact, only 3.4% did it last week.
yeah.
Triple captain. Over a third have already played their triple captain, and 2 in 5 have already bench boosted.
Yep.
So you and me, we haven't done any of that.
Yeah,
So
and the ranks are relatively close as well. I think you're 6 million places above me, John. I think there's just over 40 points in it.
yeah, it's nothing.
So I'd much rather be in your position, but I do think the chips, especially this year, I've seen a lot of comments online about content creators doing poorly, and but look, it's
I
four
don't know
game
what.
weeks in. The
Yeah,
chips have
yeah,
made it even more chaotic than
yeah.
normal.
So,
Really, it's up until Christmas.
so
We're not really going to know where everybody's at. So
no, I mean I'm looking at triple captains one on Haaland. I would like to avoid a free hit. I want Haaland in. I want a triple captain. I think it's the best one. Home to Burnley.
yeah,
Also looking at defensive stats. Yeah, the promoted teams have been really good, but Burnley have got the worst expected goals conceded.
yeah.
So they've been a bit lucky not to concede
Well,
more.
yeah, it's not like fair play. They defended really well against Liverpool, but it's not sustainable. They're just there. They're just riding it out
Yeah,
for as long as they can.
yeah,
They've got to show a little
yeah,
bit more, and that's when it might open up a
yeah.
little bit more at the back.
So
So
by the end of game week 8, I'll have played my triple captain, free hit, no, triple captain, bench
wild
boost,
card,
and wild card, and
and you'll have a
and
free
I'll have
hit
the
to
free hit in the
use.
in the back pocket,
Yeah,
but for when I desperately need it, which I'm sure I
yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah.
But so yeah, suddenly there's using those chips. So I'd like to see what happens at the end of that. Obviously, that could go terribly
Absolutely.
wrong. Haaland could blank. The bench boost could be terrible, and the
Well,
wild card could, well, as per usual, the wild card people could be wasted.
it'll give you at least it'll give you a bit more of a
But
proper idea of your rank.
But that'll be the
So
same for you as well. You're looking
yeah.
at potential triple captain. You're looking at a potential wild card, a potential bench boost, these kinds of things. So the next few weeks are going to be crucial. So anyone who's watching and listening and they're looking at their rank, their 5 million, 7 million, 8 million, 2 million, whatever, have a look at how many chips you've used. If you haven't used any, have a look at the next few weeks and then come back in 5 or 6 weeks after you've used some of those chips and see where your rank is there. Because some of those at the top who've used their chips to get there, and that's not a bad thing. Obviously, they used them wisely because they probably used them. If you used a triple captain on Haaland last week, you got a good return. Or Semenyo, and things like that. I think was there something like 4 people triple captain Zubimendi? Who are these people?
I had this conversation in my household. My son's just started to play FPL. This is his first proper season, and annoyingly, he's ranked about 1 million. Maybe I should be asking him for tips, but he
Yeah.
said exactly the same thing. He said, "What? Like, how does that?" He saw that stat, and he was like, "How does that even happen?" He said, "Is it AI? Is it like a bot?" And I said, "Well, it's probably just some crazy Arsenal fan somewhere who's just thought, oh,
Yeah.
look, I'll have a bit of a punt," and
I like what I see.
people who don't take it seriously
Yeah.
and just think, well, look, why not? No.
We'll just finish off just going back to your team reveal, just so we can finish off. Just so get so your what if you made a transfer? What would it
Yeah.
likely to be?
I think it'll probably be Tillemans because Emre said after the match at the weekend he's probably going to be out for a few matches. So I'd
Oh,
like to get a proper update on that. The BBC reported that, but then the Villa website didn't. So I'd like to get a little bit of clarification on that. Strand Larsen, it sounded like he was close, and Wolves do have good fixtures to come. So I think Tillemans is probably the player that I would take out if I need to. I think my budget would be about 7.3 million if
okay.
I took him out. It's a tough week this week, actually. There isn't loads of standout players which I want. We were just putting together the scout picks or the early scout picks earlier on, and it's a funny old week. I'd probably look at Tottenham, I think.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if you were minded to wildcard in 7, then just think of it as a 2 week punt,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
And so yeah, you got to look at that. So it could be anyone. Yeah, I mean Tottenham against Brighton. The likes of, I know you've got Ruta already, but Matoma, Minter, they
Yeah.
could do well. Xavi Simons, I like the look of at
That
Spurs. I
I
think
do as
he'd
well.
be
My only
good.
concern was the minutes, but
Yeah,
let's see how they look against Villarreal tonight.
yeah,
Kudus is obviously, it feels like he's gone a bit
yeah.
off the boil, but he's playing 90
Do,
minutes.
do you know another one? Gibbs White for Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest. I don't have a problem with Anne's attacking side, and he was the one against Arsenal. Probably the most likely. Gibbs White
it's that
away.
it's that fixtures play, isn't it? You're not really basing it off to any real kind of form, but it's Burnley and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Sunderland. And so, yeah, I don't think I could quite get Gibbs White actually. Isn't he 7.5? I think he
Oh, that'd
is.
be
I
annoying.
think I'm just short of that.
Okay.
So it'd have to be one of the wingers there.
Right,
It'd
yeah.
have to be Dan and Doy, something like that.
Yeah. And
Unless I
Feeling,
took out Alanga instead, Joe. If it doesn't look like he's going to play, I
yeah,
could take out Alanga and bench Tillemans,
yeah.
and then
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, it's only for a
mm,
couple of weeks as well.
mm.
So, and another one is you could just go for something like just one of these sort of Zubamendi type picks. You could go for Enzo Fernandez, boring, but could get goals and assists. He's got goals and assists so far.
I have got a list in front of me, and it says Xavi Simmons and Enzo
Oh,
Fernandez,
well, I
and they're
can
the
read
only
your
two
mind. I
players
am
on
tethered
there.
to you.
So
It's
yeah.
got Manchester United away and Brighton at home. If
Mm.
I was going for a 2 week punt against two teams for an attacker, they're quite
Yeah.
good fixtures, I think.
Palmer, it'll be really interesting to see how his minutes are managed because they've got Bayern Munich, then they've got United, and if he isn't on the pitch if he's getting limited minutes, Enzo's your penalty taker, probably, isn't he? Although there is a bit of debate about that. It could be Pedro.
We don't know. We don't know at the moment. It's Pedro or Enzo
Scored the
Fernandez.
last,
Yeah,
scored the last one.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, Maria will be past fit and Strand Larsen will be past fit, and I don't have to make a transfer. But if
Yeah.
I do, it'll probably be a midfielder move
Okay,
for a
good stuff.
mid-pricer
Okay.
midfielder.
Well, good luck with that move. Good luck shooting up the rankings when you use all your chips as well. And good luck to those watching and listening. We'll see you again next week. Take care. See you soon.
Cheers, Joe.